Your shoulder training is holding back your entire upper body, and most people have no idea why. Shoulders are one of the most trained muscle groups in the gym. They're also one of the most incorrectly trained. Most people focus almost entirely on the front of their shoulders, without realizing they're creating a massive imbalance that limits strength, hurts posture, and increases injury risk. And the exercises most people rely on are not the most effective ones for building complete shoulder development. In this video, I'll show you exactly how the shoulder muscle works, the most common training mistakes, what the science says about the most effective exercises, and how to structure your shoulder training for complete development. The shoulder, or deltoid, is made up of three distinct heads: the anterior head at the front, the lateral head on the side, and the posterior head at the rear. Each head has a different function and responds best to different movements. The anterior head handles pressing movements, pushing forward and upward. The lateral head handles abduction, raising the arm out to the side. The posterior head handles pulling movements, rowing and rear delt work. Here's the problem most people have. Compound pressing movements like bench press and overhead press heavily recruit the anterior deltoid. Most gym goers already do a significant amount of pressing, which means their front delts are already well developed. But lateral and posterior development is almost always lagging, because most people don't train those heads with the same focus or volume. Mistake 1. Too much pressing, not enough lateral and posterior work. If your program includes bench press, incline press, and overhead press, your front delts are covered. What you actually need more of is lateral raises and rear delt work. Mistake 2. Using too much weight on lateral raises. Lateral raises are a technique-dependent exercise. Most people load them too heavy, which causes them to swing the weight, recruit the traps, and reduce the stimulus on the lateral deltoid. The lateral head is a relatively small muscle. It responds better to controlled, moderate weight movements taken close to failure. Mistake 3. Neglecting the posterior deltoid entirely. The rear delt is one of the most undertrained muscles in the gym. It's invisible in a mirror, so people ignore it. But strong rear delts improve posture, protect the shoulder joint, and contribute significantly to the width of your upper back from behind. Mistake 4. Not training shoulders with sufficient volume. Research suggests the deltoids respond well to higher training frequency and volume compared to larger muscle groups. 2 sessions per week targeting all 3 heads tends to produce better results than 1 heavy session. A 2014 study comparing shoulder exercises found that lateral raises produced the highest activation of the lateral deltoid compared to other common shoulder exercises. For the posterior deltoid, face pulls and rear delt flies consistently show high activation across multiple EMG studies. For overall shoulder development, research supports a combination of overhead pressing for front delt and overall mass, lateral raises for lateral head width, and face pulls or reverse flies for posterior development. The key insight from the research: no single exercise trains all 3 heads equally. Complete shoulder development requires targeting each head specifically. Here's a simple evidence-based approach. Start your shoulder session with overhead pressing, barbell or dumbbell, for 3 to 4 sets in the 6 to 10 rep range. Follow with lateral raises for 3 to 4 sets in the 12 to 20 rep range, taken close to failure. Finish with rear delt work, face pulls, reverse flies, or bent over rear delt raises, for 3 sets in the 12 to 20 rep range. This structure ensures all 3 heads get adequate stimulus. Over time, prioritizing the lateral and posterior heads will create the wide, 3-dimensional shoulder development that most people train for years without achieving. Subscribe, new video every Sunday.